Hey guys, good morning. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's upload. My name is Alasdair and you have come through to my Property Investors YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure you click on the link below, get subscribed. I'll be uploading a couple of videos every single week and I don't want you guys missing out on that. If you have subscribed, thank you very much for your support. I hope you're finding this valuable and you're finding it useful. So what I want to talk to you about at the minute was we are all currently in a situation where we're having to face social distancing and we're not earning any money. We're not being able to run businesses as they would conventionally run. A lot of people can't pay their rent. A lot of people are getting put onto the furlough scheme where they're not getting full income, and there's a lot of people losing their jobs left, right and centre. So I think it's crucial in these times that you do a few things to stay on top of it, and to try and keep yourself afloat. So when all this blows over and when it all settles down, we've all got businesses to go back to and life can continue, but without ruining our credit files, without ruining our finances and our relationships ongoing. So one of the things that I think is really important during this time, I'm going to talk about how you would handle this from a business and also a consumer point of view. And like I say, this is just my opinion on it. So you might agree, you might not agree. Actually, that's good, that's fair, that's right. So we live in a democracy. You have the right not to agree, so that's fine. I respect that. This is just my take on it, okay? Now let's just say you're a consumer, so you have you rent a property, and you're facing redundancy. You're facing a very uncertain future with regards to income, and you don't know if you can pay your bills, and you can pay your rates, your rents, your costs, your direct debits, all that sort of stuff. So what the government have advised is that you can take advantage of payment holidays. Now, it's very clear to understand that, like for instance, what is a payment holiday? Now, a payment holiday is an agreement you come up with with your lender, whether that be a mortgage lender, a credit card lender, a loan provider, your Sky TV, anything. Basically, it's an agreement where you reach an agreement with the supplier, and you agree not to make any payments for a period of time, up to a maximum of 3 months. And what that will mean is, cash flow wise for yourself, will mean that you're able to keep that cash in your bank and you're able to stay liquid. Liquidity is very important during these times, I believe. I want to be in a strong cash position during these times, so I'm doing whatever I can to keep as much cash in my bank as possible at the minute, until things settle down, until things go back to normal. So a very relevant example here is if you are a consumer and you've got a mortgage, for instance. You've got a mortgage on your property and you're looking to defer them mortgage payments for up to 3 months. So how would you go about sorting that out? Now, the first thing is you must not do the following, because if you do, it's going to affect your credit report. Do not just cancel your direct debits, and do not just not pay it. For you to be eligible for a payment holiday, you have to have that conversation with the lender. You have to have spoken to them, and you've had to agree to it, and they have to agree to it as well. If you just cancel your direct debit and just don't pay it, you'll then be in breach of your contract. You'll then be in adverse credit, and they will take appropriate action, and your costs will go up. You'll be fined for missed payments. You'll have credit score defaults, all that sort of stuff. And believe me, it's a short-term fix, but you will feel the pain down the line. There's nothing worse than having bad defaults on your credit report, particularly if you're looking to borrow money in the future. So do not, just categorically, do not just cancel direct debits. If you've got any direct debits coming out in the next couple of days, you better speak to the lenders as quick as possible to make sure they don't request them direct debits from your bank. A direct debit takes 2 or 3 days to be processed. So for instance, if I wanted to collect direct debit payments on a Friday from a consumer, as a business, I would have to have them set up by the Tuesday, latest Wednesday. So you're talking 2 to 3 days to get a direct debit set up. So if you've got direct debits coming out this week, and you're a bit concerned about the money coming out your bank and then leaving you short, things like that, I suggest you speak to them lenders as soon as possible, and you negotiate something. You negotiate a payment plan, you negotiate an agreement where you can defer or you can have a holiday for up to 3 months. Now, just to be super clear on this, I'm not an expert on this, and I'm only taking advice from the relevant websites. So you can find that information out very easily by just Googling it. Google, like, how can I get a mortgage holiday due to the coronavirus, things like that. So you can get this information out very, very quickly and very easily. Now, do remember this: if you ask your mortgage lender to give you a payment holiday, they can only do it for a maximum of 3 months, and they cannot do it if you're in mortgage arrears. So if you're in any sort of debt with the mortgage company where you've not paid your bills, they won't allow it. They can't. They're not allowed to. Okay. You have to be up to date, and ideally, it's preferred if you've overpaid for your mortgage in the past. However, that's not essential, but it's more likely to be granted. Now, I honestly think during these times that if you ring the lender up and you're proactive and you're upfront about it and you say, look, I'm going to struggle to make my mortgage payments, can we arrange a payment holiday due to the current economic climate and the coronavirus? I don't think any lender is going to refuse it, providing you're in a good steading with them, i.e. you're not behind, you're not in arrears, etc, etc. So I think it's really relevant that you call them up front and be upfront with these people. Have a conversation with them, okay? They're there to help, okay? Don't be that person that just cancels the direct debits, cancels the payments, hoping it'll all go away. It ain't gonna go away, okay? It will come back and it will bite you in the ass harder than you've ever been bitten in the ass before. So please just be upfront, go directly to them, negotiate, try and get a better deal, try and get a payment holiday. But remember, they're there to help, and they also have a duty of care to you to help you in these situations as well. So take advantage of that if you need to. Now, do remember that if you defer your mortgage by 3 months, you're going to get increased charges and you're going to get increased costs at the end, because it doesn't mean you're going to get 3 months of not paying it. You're still going to have to pay it. They'll just add it to the loan, or they might ask you to overpay for a period of time when you get back on your feet. So it doesn't mean that, hey, great, I've got a payment holiday. Doesn't mean you've got a payment off. You've still got to pay it, okay? It just gets added to your loan. So at the minute, I'm not using payment holidays. I'm paying all my bills, I'm paying all my mortgages, I'm paying all my loans, I'm paying everything I've got to pay. I am paying. I'm not defaulting on anything, because I know how important credit scores are, and I don't want that added costs at the end. I would rather just do it now while I can. I'm liquid, so it's good. So that's that if you're a consumer. Now, another thing. If you're a business, you've got to look at reducing your business expenses very, very quickly. I was speaking to a very good friend of mine the other day, and he runs a very successful business. And this is how he's done it. So you might take a bit of advice from this. So he rents yards. So he runs vehicles, big lorries, and he rents yards. And for instance, one of them, the rent on that yard is £45,000 per month, just to rent the yard space, the building, the unit. So his fixed rents are that per month. Now, what he's done is he's been very proactive about this, and he's gone to the landlord and he said, listen, he goes, our business is pretty much ground to a halt. Like, we're not making any money. There's no money coming in, nada, nothing. How can we work this so that I can still work from the place? We've got an ongoing relationship once all this settles down, but I want to treat you with respect. I want to help you out, and I want you to help me out. So what can we do to sort this out? And basically, he's negotiated with them, and they've agreed to give him, they'll negotiate it on a monthly basis, but they basically agreed to give him a couple of months of no rent, where he doesn't have to pay the full £45,000. He's reduced that by half, and he's only paying £20,000. And then the additional amount is just going to get added to his. He's going to increase his when everything sorts itself out. He's going to pay an extra £5,000 a month towards the backdated rent that he owes. But what's really good is the landlord is working with them. Now, you might ask yourself, why would the landlord work with you in this situation? I'll tell you why. because this person went to that landlord before and he said, listen, I don't want to screw you over, I want to work with you, but you need to understand businesses are struggling, I'm struggling, but I want to still honour what I can, so can we sort something out? Now, the key to this is communication. The key to this, believe me, is communicating with your landlords, communicating with everybody you've got to communicate with, and sorting something out before it gets to that. So this is why this landlord's been really good, because he went to him up front and said, look, I'm not going to be able to pay you, but I can pay something. So can we do something, and then I'll pay you later at a later date. And that's worked really well for this particular guy. So that's the last little tip. Now, you can relate that to all you guys that have got rent to rents, lease options. You can relate that to that as well. I would use this opportunity to speak to all your landlords and say, look, during the current economic climate, my tenants are not paying me, my guests are not coming. Is there anything we can do on the rent? Can we defer it? Can we do a payment holiday? Can we do a reduced amount? Can we do something just to make this easier to bear? Now, fundamentally, you have a contract. You've all got contracts with these landlords, and at the time of taking the contract, you did agree to pay them a guaranteed rent every month. So fundamentally, if they say no, if they don't agree to you, you're still bound by a legal contract, so you still have to adhere to that. But I appreciate that some people might be struggling during this time, and I think, again, I said it earlier, I think the key is communication. Speak to your landlord, speak to your vendors, speak to your lenders, speak to everybody up front, be open, transparent, upfront and honest with them, and try and get to a solution where you're both happy, but ultimately you're both still afloat at the end of it, okay? So that's my top tips. That's what I would do. That's what I'm doing. Even though I'm not taking advantage of payment holidays, I'm still speaking to people, I'm still helping people. So I think it's really, really important. Remember, guys, if one thing you take away from this video, communication. Communicate with whoever you're in a situation where you owe money to, or you have a legal obligation to pay them on a monthly basis. So communicate, try and negotiate, and hopefully we all get out of this. We all get out of this with businesses intact and with not too much financial ruin. So guys, I hope that video has been helpful for you. I really wish everyone a super successful business, super successful life. Stay safe, please, guys. I'm out in my car at the minute. I've just come back from a chiropractor appointment, so I'm out for medical purposes, so I'm not out just gallivanting. I'm out in my car. I've only seen one doctor, that's it. And yeah, we're doing what we've got to do. So guys, please stay safe, keep going, watch it, subscribe to the video if you want to get the future uploads. Also watch things like Property Investors Podcast. Me and Russell do a show every week. That's on its own YouTube channel, Property Investors Podcast. I'll put a link in the bio below. Watch that, all property talk. Also, Russell does the Entrepreneur's Blueprint podcast, which is a business podcast, really, really good. I'm on that often now, and quite often actually. So guys, stay safe, stay positive, keep smiling. Remember, we'll all get over this. We'll all get over this. Remember that, okay? Remember that. Stay safe, stay positive. Subscribe if you want to get uploads, and tune in next week, guys. Stay safe. Thank you very much, guys. Much love.